What is up, fellas? JPS delivers here. Madden 2008. This is the CPU team. This is the Dolphins team, and the record is not has not been a good start to this fantasy franchise. Going up against the Steel Curtain, the Steelers at home. They have a pretty good offensive line. They got Jamarcus Russell at quarterback. However, for some fucking reason, leave it to the Steelers. They know something we don't. They're already just going to have Charlie Batch be the quarterback and not Jamarcus Russell. Maybe that changes the outlook of what his career could have been. But both teams on losing streaks, 3-7, 5-5, 2 games for the Steelers, 3 for us. But we do have top 10 in scoring, but more so their defense for Wednesday night football. It's Pittsburgh. It's the Steel City. It is an absolute shit show that is about to go down. 3-7 Miami Dolphins coming to town to Pittsburgh to face your Pittsburgh Steelers team that for some reason, folks, they're not going to start Jamarcus Russell as their quarterback they drafted for this fantasy franchise draft. And they're going to start Charlie's Snatch at quarterback. Dolphins win the toss, and they elect to receive. And Rex Grossman, a guy that, well, that right here is more so how his career ended. That play in a nutshell. But hey, we're controlling that man. And we also have Willis McGahee at running back. And speaking of, just 2 straight plays to him right there on the pass. It was just that running back flare all the way up the field. It was, hey, those plays, usually that route doesn't open up nearly as well. But on that one, it did, at least in trying to set up for a touchdown. But Darren Sharper with the interception. It's going to be Steelers ball at their own 6 or 7 yard line. Not too well of a run right there by the Steelers running back. Oh yeah, it's Travis Henry. How did I not remember that name? But nice catch for the first down. However, there was a holding penalty on Stinchcomb, who we have him as our offensive lineman in either 1 or 2 other fantasy franchises, and he gets quite a bit of holding penalties as well. And right there, nice play by the secondary. And I can tell you what, the secondary showed up for this game. Hey, if you're trying to play, hey, sometimes, well, actually most of the time, I mean, you're going to be put in a position, you might as well have the motivation. I mean, what better motivation than not only facing the Steelers on the road and trying to up your defense to match it, but Hal Harris gets injured. It's unfortunate, but it is also fortunate at the same time. But hey, in this one it didn't necessarily factor in too much, as this was the rushing game. Beautiful 49-yard touchdown rush by Willis McGahee, and a pass out incomplete by Charlie Batch. Trying to do it again, does get the catch, but Resean Mathis, this is easily the player of the game for this game, Resean Mathis. We saw him make that play before. This offensive line was getting just completely destroyed though. I've noticed, I don't know if any of y'all that playing your own fantasy franchises on your own PlayStations, Xboxes, and whatnot, if you notice that the offensive lines kind of seem beat up on the other teams, and even, I mean, we're seeing it with the Houston Texans franchise as well, that we're seeing those offensive linemen get beat up quite a bit, which is weird, because usually they're the most durable dudes. Maybe this before they even made all those guys wear their knee braces, even though I'm pretty sure that's been a thing in the NFL for a long-ass while, especially at this point. But here we go, Rex Grossman, not known for his speed, amongst other things, and we do know that he wasn't so great at those other things as well. And it's funny because Rex Grossman at Florida in NCAA, I think 2004 or something like that. I'm pretty sure Rex Grossman, no, it was like 2003. Rex Grossman was like 97 overall, like the best rated quarterback. And then Carson Palmer was like 86 overall. Well, Rex Grossman for Florida's quarterback situation. He played more so like the current Florida quarterback situation you've seen over the years at the University of Florida Gators. Lately, that's basically the quarterback play there is what you've seen of his career. Not all too great. I feel like we've been actually pretty strong with him. His overall has been pretty good. He's got a pretty good age. His team's looking to try to build for the future. And hey, if we can get a really, really good left tackle or something like that, or I'm going to try to trade Willis McGahee in the offseason. Maybe he loses the injury-prone thing, but I'm pretty sure that once you get one of those, what's the name of it? It's not attribute, but it's like, you know, your attribute can dictate it. Terrible decision right there, making by myself, utilizing a player whose decision-making is already suspect. There you go, first down pass. But I was trying to trade Willis McGahee for Jones Drew, but I mean, probably because the age. I mean, McGahee's like 27, 28 at this point, or maybe 26, 27. But here we go. First of many highlights, we are going to see the rest of this game. Resean Mathis, pick 6, right there, 45 yards, and it seemed like he got that shit done as if it was only a 15-yard interception for a touchdown. It was so fast and beautifully done. I mean, Resean Mathis is one of those dudes that I haven't had on much of. I wouldn't normally draft the dude in a fantasy franchise. There you go, fumble, unfortunately, after the nice catch and run, but it wasn't so nice, the running bit at least. And right there, picking a defensive play. Don't know why that showed up, but hey, oh yes, I know why. It's because the fumble was under review. It's actually pretty good stats right there by Rex Grossman. 128 yards, I believe, if I'm correct. I know it's at least 120 yards on the day. It's like 7 for 12, something like that. But this Steelers defense was giving up quite a bit of yards. I know Willis McGahee, obviously, with the first touchdown of the game. And here we go, nice little passing play out to Dallas Clark. And then here we go, setting it up with Willis McGahee again. Hey, I mean, he's not amazing at catching the football, but when you're wide open, you sure as shit better catch it. And that's another reason to try to go for Jones Drew, but I just feel like he might be 3 years, 3 years ahead, meaning he's got, 3 years of usage at 23, being 3 years younger than Willis McGahee to be able to use him. And he's pretty much an up-and-coming player, as we pretty much know at that point. Madden 08, he's starting to make his breakout past Fred Taylor at halfback for the Jaguars, which was also, speaking of Resean Mathis, gives up the pass right there. But hey, I think it was his only pass given up on the day, or only catch given up on the day. Hey, it takes a pass to get a catch. It takes a catch for a completed pass, so it doesn't matter what the fuck you call it. But hey, I mean, amazing game by him. Even Mr. Finneran on that one, nice first down. And Rex Grossman, his stats of his career, not really. I feel like that's just something for the journalists to sit there and just gloat about knowing is Rex Grossman's stats, because they're pretty underwhelming to look at. It's not something that you just throw on the screen like it's fucking Peyton Manning or something. I wanted that to get picked off. Didn't get picked off. And then guess what? 2 fucking seconds later, bam, got ourselves a defensive pass interference call. Unfortunate. And then, unfortunately right there, Mr. Cartel right there. But this cartel is north of the border on that catch in Pennsylvania. First down for the Steelers on that one. Now next play, trying to set up that interception, but unfortunately does not go. Trying to use the flea flicker once again to Monty Toomer, but jump a little bit too early, and I just think it might have just been at a stretch. Then here we go, Rex Grossman on third down, gets sacked. It's going to be Steelers ball again, 20-7, but another sack, and here we go, Charlie Batch, one career fourth down comeback, and I can tell you what, it's going to stay at one career fourth quarter comeback, as Resean Mathis gets his second interception of the day. Toomer going across on a nice 5-yard dig, gets a couple yards more up the field on the run, and then Rex Grossman, you forget you're not using Vince Young or Michael Vick, and yeah, that's a nice field goal. Ended up after Rex Grossman threw it away on third down. Now 23-7, incomplete pass by Charlie's Snatch, and as he definitely wasn't Charlie's Angel. And then another fourth down. I mean, this Steelers team just did not do all too well at all. I mean, that should have been picked off. Honestly, should have been caught on the tip drill on that one. And then Charlie's Batch, again, just reeking of smelly Charlie Snatch. Beautiful play. Resean Mathis on the day, 3 interceptions, 2 pick sixes, 2 of those 3 interceptions, return for touchdowns. And what was pretty much not an efficient day on the offensive end when it comes to converting those red zone opportunities on touchdowns. I think the one touchdown that came wasn't even a red zone opportunity. Just by default, it was 49-yard touchdown run by Willis McGahee. That was impressive. Felt like we kind of slowed down in the second half, especially with that 156 passing yards. He did get sacked a little bit, and that does factor in. But Rex Grossman, only 167 yards passing. Only completed 5 passes since that point of showing him with 128 yards and 7 completions. Willis McGahee doesn't even get to 100 yards. We don't have any more, like any player with more than 61 yards receiving, and that was Willis McGahee himself. I'm pretty sure he had half of that on that one catch we showcased. But nice game by Mr. A.J. Brown and Fajita. There you go. Resean Mathis, 3 interceptions, 5 total. Antonio Pierce gets 1. That was a not computer controlled, but user controlled the entire play. I've been trying to, utilize the middle linebackers, keep them in that cover. Just kind of like, I feel like it's your best way of controlling a player to get like full awareness compared to just relying on your own awareness compared to the CPU controlling your player, which can be pretty fucked by some of these big plays. But Drew Bennett with a nice game, however bad Charlie Batch did. But see you next time, fellas.